The clock in the attic. Mia loved spending weekends at her grandmother's country house. The place was quiet, full of books, and surrounded by tall trees that whispered in the wind. Her grandmother, a kind woman with silver hair and a soft laugh, often told her stories about the past and strange family secrets. One story, however, was never told. The attic, always locked, was mentioned only once. "That room is special," her grandmother said. "It belongs to another time." Mia found that strange, but didn't press the question. Instead, she spent her days reading and exploring the garden behind the house. One rainy afternoon, her grandmother fell asleep in her rocking chair. Mia, curious and a little bored, noticed a small key hanging on the wall. She took it down gently, wondering if it might open the attic. Her heart beat faster as she tiptoed up the narrow staircase. At the top, she stood before the old attic door. The key fit perfectly. She turned it slowly, and the door creaked open. The attic was filled with dust and old furniture covered in sheets. A strange ticking sound echoed softly through the air. In the center stood a tall clock with golden hands and strange symbols around its face. Unlike normal clocks, its hands moved backward. As Mia stepped closer, the air grew warmer. Light streamed through a small round window, making the dust look like stars. She stood in front of the clock, listening to its deep, steady tick. Her hand reached out almost without thinking, her fingers brushing the cool surface of its glass face. Suddenly, everything around her shimmered. The wooden beams of the attic bent and twisted, the shelves vanished, and light swirled around her like a fog made of time. When the light faded, Mia stood in the same attic, but it was no longer dusty or dark. Everything looked clean and new, the wooden floor smooth beneath her shoes. She heard voices downstairs, soft and familiar. Heart pounding, she followed the sound, careful not to make a noise. In the kitchen, a woman stood by the stove, humming a tune.
Mia frose.
It was her mother, young, alive, and cooking breakfast.
Mia legs shook.
She wanted to run and hug her, but she was afraid. What if this was a dream? The woman turned around, and her eyes met Mia's. "Good morning, sweetheart. Did you sleep well?" Mia could hardly breathe. She nodded slowly. The words stuck in her throat. Was this really her mother? Or was she dreaming within a dream? The woman smiled and poured her a cup of tea. "You look like you've seen a ghost," she joked gently. Mia laughed nervously, blinking away sudden tears. They sat down at the table together, sunlight pouring in through the windows, and for a while, Mia forgot everything else. Throughout the day, Mia followed her mother, afraid to leave her side. They baked bread, watered the garden, and sat under a cherry tree where butterflies danced in the warm air. Everything felt so real. The smell of lavender soap, the touch of her mother's hand, the sound of her laughter echoing down the hallway. Mia began to forget her questions. She stopped worrying about the attic or the strange clock. In her heart, this was all she had ever wanted, to be with her mother, even if only for a short time. That evening, they cooked dinner together. Her mother hummed an old tune while stirring soup, and Mia watched her quietly, memorizing every detail of her face. "You're very quiet today," her mother said gently. "Everything okay?"
Mia hesitated.
"I'm just happy," she answered. It was the truth, but there was something more beneath it. A soft ache, a quiet fear. That night, as she lay in bed under a soft quilt, Mia thought about the attic again. She knew time was running out, and she had to make a choice soon. Could she stay? Could she live in the past, where her mother was alive, and forget the world she came from? As she closed her eyes, a breeze came through the window, carrying a faint ticking sound. The clock hadn't forgotten her. In her dream, she saw the attic again, but this time the clock was open and its hands pointed straight at her. When Mia awoke the next morning, the world felt heavier, like it knew her time there was almost over. The sky outside the window was cloudy, and the birds were quiet. At breakfast, her mother smiled gently. "You've been different these past days," she said. Quieter. Older, somehow. Mia looked down at her plate. She wanted to tell her everything. The truth, the clock, the future. But her voice wouldn't come. Her mother reached over and squeezed her hand. "Whatever you're carrying, you don't have to carry it alone." After breakfast, Mia walked alone through the garden. The cherry blossoms had begun to fall, dancing softly on the breeze. It felt like the world was whispering goodbye. Back inside, she stood at the bottom of the attic stairs, her hand on the wooden rail. The ticking had returned, louder now, like the clock was calling her back. She climbed slowly, each step filled with memory. The attic door creaked open, and the clock stood waiting. Still, golden and glowing faintly in the shadows. Mia walked to it and touched the face once more. Her chest ached, but her heart was clear. She whispered, "Thank you," as the light returned and wrapped around her. When the light faded, she was home. Dusty attic, soft rain outside, her grandmother still asleep in the chair downstairs. But Mia was changed forever. From that day on, every time she passed the attic door, she smiled. She knew that love, real love, could live beyond time, and some goodbyes were never truly the end. Hope Mia's journey touched your heart as deeply as it did mine while writing it for you. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Your support means the world to me. Subscribe for more beautiful stories.